Okay, so today, like I mentioned now on the stream, let me move this guy out of the way. On the stream, we have this now that I'm going to be sending the announcements, and you are able to comment back as long as it's dealing with, listen, as long as it's dealing with the announcement. Like, I don't want you to put there things that do not deal with the announcements. The notes of the rules are still here. It does not let you comment.
So you only like Ruby now. Oh wait, who?
If it doesn't let you do it, I will go and check what's going on. Maybe I have not activated this class, but it should let you starting today and on. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. So right here in the notes for the class are there also for the integer rules are gonna be there also in case they're also here. They were also here on this one, the assignments. It's gonna be on use details. There's a video there and there's that. Okay. But right now we're gonna focus on the one with the ribbons. Open it up. Begin with Google. Click on your name. And let me move this guy out of the way. So today you're gonna be working on 13 problems 1 through 13. 1 through 13. And I'm gonna already label it on the homework journal addition problems. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my homework journal, not the notes journal, homework journal.
Thank you for
And go to a brand new page wherever you are, brand new page. Now we're gonna really use it like crazy, guys. And we're gonna put there HW addition problems 1 through 13. Okay? And put the date 9 29 22. Okay? So go to a brand new page, homework addition problems 1 through 13, 9, 29, 22. In case you're wondering, like, how did he get that title? I got the title from my actual work. It says there addition problems right there. Okay? So as long as you put the date is going to be very important for me now because it's going to tell me what you're doing. Now, if you carry over to the back page, you have to tell me the title again so I know that that's still part of it, okay? Yes, ma'am. Question with the titles? HW homework addition problems. I just got it from the paper. 1 through 13. We're just going to work on the first 13. And today's date is 9/29/22. If I need more space, I go to the back page. Do not go to the next page. Go to the back page and put the title again. Okay? So now we start learning how to use the journal. Watch the video and then you just copy whatever I did and that's what you do at home. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna first give you the homework. So from now I'm gonna highlight the numbers so like that you're not asking like what's for homework. So here we go. Click on the highlighter. Click on the color that's nicer than that dark blue. Unless you like that dark blue, I'm gonna go with the light blue. So now 1 will be for homework. 2 will be for homework. 3 will be for homework. 4 will not be for homework. I will do it right now. 5 I will do it right now. 6 I will do it right now. 7 will be for homework. 8 will be for homework. And all I did is I clicked on the highlighter, changed the color that you want. That's all I'm doing. And I'm highlighting whatever's for homework. Like that, there's no confusion what's for homework. 9 is for homework. 10, I will do it with you. 11, I will do it with you. 12 will be for homework. 13 will be for homework. And that's it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 are for homework. And I'm doing 5 that are not, we're going to do it together. Okay? Yes, go ahead. Okay, yes, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. How do you highlight? Okay, you're going to click on the highlighter right there. And then you can choose the color that you want. I would choose a lighter one so you can see what you're highlighting. And then that's it. Once you choose a color, you put the cross, the quadrant 1 section, which is this one, and then just click and highlight. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13. Now I'm going to start with one I'm going to do first is number 4. So here we go. Number 4 says negative 10 plus 2. So Mr. Rivera told you that to try to learn some rules. I have a negative and a positive. So you tell me, what rule would that be? Good, which is rule number 2. That's what I call it, right? So I'm going to click on this text box right here. And I'm going to just click anywhere right now. It doesn't matter where. Just click anywhere. And I'm going to start saying, I'm going to be using rule 2. I'm going to type rule 2. And that we call it diff because they were different. And when they're different, we're going to subtract. And if you want, you can make it big for now. Right now, we're going to fix it so you can see what I'm typing. So it's root 2 diff. And in diff, we subtract. And then we keep the sign with the greatest absolute value. Yes or no? So this is called root 2. I call it the diff because they're different. We have a negative and a positive. They're different signs. And when they're different, we're going to subtract and we're going to keep the sign with the greatest absolute value. Now that I typed everything nicely, I'm going to go ahead and kind of like fix it up so it can fit better there. And then drag this way. Okay? There, I just zoomed in so you can see, and then I'll zoom out again. So again, to fix it, all I did is I dragged it so it can fit there underneath. So Mr. Rivera knows that I'm going to use rule number 2 for number 4. Questions so far? No. Okay. Let me unzoom now. Now, I know I told some kids already this. I think I told this class, but I didn't tell all of the classes. What questions from 1, 2, and 3 could I still use div also? From 1, 2, and 3, what questions would I be able to use the same rule? Very good, number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, and I'm going to hold the CTRL button, which is called control button. It's on the very bottom on the left corner of your keyboard. Hold it down. I don't know if I told this class, that's what I'm saying. And then press the letter D to duplicate. And the reason I want to do that so I don't have to be typing for homework, and I'm going to drag it and say you're number 2 also. Okay? Do you understand? Yes. What I did or no? No. No? Yes. Yes. Let me delete. I'm going to click and delete. The trash bucket is here to delete. Since number 2 is Sudie's correct, she said number 2 is also different. Rule number 2. I'm going to click on this guy that's already typed for me, rule number 2. And I'm going to have it green, and I'm going to click CTRL, which is Control D, and D means duplicate. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to go here. CTRL is at the corner bottom of the keyboard. So I will show you here. Right there is CTRL. Right there. You hold it down and then you press the D to mean duplicate. You should have it the same way on your laptop on the left corner. Okay? Okay. Okay, number 4. Now let me do number 4 now finally. So here we go. So it's root 2 div, subtract, keep the sign with the greatest absolute value. So I'm going to go now to my journal. And I'm going to do number 4. Remember that I do not care about the order of the problems. So you write number 4. You circle it for me. By you circling it, I know that you're doing number 4. Please circle the number so I can know that that is the number 4 and not an actual part of your process, okay? What was the problem for number 4? Negative 10 plus 2. Thank you. Now, negative 10 plus 2, I did say that I was going to use rule 2, which means that I'm going to do diff, which means I'm going to subtract. And some of you might say, why do I have to do it again? Because I want you to have it next to your work so you can know what to do. Okay, subtract, and I'm going to keep the greatest absolute value. I'm not going to write the whole words like the other one. We can write the symbols for greatest, greater than, and then the 2 bars means absolute value. Now, some kids are still having trouble with that. Right now, I'm going to explain what absolute value is again in the video. So now, the reason I write this, because some of you will still add because your mind tells you add, but the rule says that you should what? Subtract. So I'm going to put my little caret and say, what's 10 minus 2? 10 minus 2? 8. So I have subtracted. Now I'm going to keep the greatest absolute value. Now those kids are still having trouble with that. Here's how absolute value works. Absolute value is how far you're from 0. So we have a negative 10 that's over here. We have a positive 2 that's over here. Who's farthest from 0? 10. So because 10 is 10 away from 0, I'm going to keep the answer what? Negative. 2 is how far away from 0? 2 is how far away from 0? 2. So whose farthest from 0? Negative 10. So I'm going to say that the final answer is going to be negative 8. Then I'm going to box the answer all around. Box all the work around. So like that, I'm sure everyone knows that anything inside this perimeter is the work for number 4. Questions with that? Once I do this, I'm going to go to my computer again, and I'm in number 4, and I'm going to graph negative 8 by pressing the hotspot. So it's going to be negative 8. I press there. I'm done with that part. Then I'm going to click on the text box. Anywhere that you want right now for now. And your answer was, what answer was the answer?
Negative 8.
So negative 8.00 like money. I'm going to make it smaller now.
But why 8.00?
Because in the start test, you're going to have to type it. And I want you to type it like money always so we won't screw it up. Okay? Once you're there, you can click and now you're done. So the answer for number 4 is negative 8. I graphed it at negative 8. There's my rule. There's my work from the homework. It's right there. I subtracted because they're different, and that's what Mr. Rivera said that the rule says is to subtract. Why do we subtract? Because you're creating 0 pairs, guys, just so you know. Okay, that's why we're subtracting that guy. So why did I keep it negative? Because who's farther away from 0? The negative 10 or the 2? Who's farther away from 0?
Negative 10.
That's why it stays negative. Okay? Think about it. If I'm at negative 10, I'm right here right now. And I gain 2. That means I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2. Did I ever make it to the positive side? No. That's why the answer is negative 8, because I just moved 1, 2. Okay? That's why this rule works. I'm showing you in the number line how it works. If you're at negative 10, huh? Yeah, the absolute value of negative 10 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The absolute value of positive 2 is 1, 2. He has the greatest absolute value. That's why we stay negative. Okay? Questions with number 4? Number 5. Thank you. Number 5, we have here negative 2 plus negative 6. Do you want to use the same rule? No. So I'm going to click on the box. Anywhere you want, just click anywhere. If you want to stretch it already, you can stretch it. And I'm going to say this would be rule number 1. And rule 1, we call it the rule that says what? Same. And that one, we're going to, the A will remind me to add. And the E will remind me to what? The keep the sign the same. Once you're done typing, you can kind of like box it. I don't really like those little scrolling because then Mr. Leo has to be scrolling up and down at home when I'm checking your paper. So I prefer that you do not leave those little scrolling arrows because then I can't really sometimes even move the stuff. So make sure that you remove it. Then just drag it. This is number 5. I'm zooming for you, those that can't see. Rule 1, same, add and keep the sign the same. Okay, that's fine. I need glasses too. I need glasses from far away. I don't need glasses, like I can see perfectly close. But from far away, now I used to be able to have perfect vision even from far away, but now, what can you expect from an 89-year-old guy, right? Okay. Let's practice our little shortcut. What other questions from 1, 2, and 3 can I use rule 1?
Number 3.
Number 3. So I'm going to click on the box, Control D, and drag it up.
You have to do that? Yes. Pero ¿por qué está Grammarly en mi de este? Yes, Grammarly te ayuda. Well, I don't care. Yo no soy Julian.
There. What other one? What other one also has rule 1? Huh? Number 1. Number 1 is also rule 1. So Control D again. Drag it up there. And throughout the homework process, what you're gonna have to do, or either you want to type again, or you can do Control D. I would just do Control D. Okay.
So how do we copy and paste
Okay. Again, you click on the box and you hold down the Control button. D means duplicate. Okay. Okay. Number what? Number 5, right? So number 5, we're gonna use rule 1, same, add and keep. So I'm gonna go to number 5 from my journal now. I'm gonna say, okay, this is number 5. So I'm gonna put in number 5 right there. The order does not matter for me. And what's the problem? Thank you. -2 plus, open parenthesis, -6, close them, just so I know that I need the parenthesis so I can distinguish that this is a plus sign and this is a negative sign and not a plus minus sign. Okay? What rule would I use? Rule 1, which is same. And that's why we write it, because right now I heard somebody saying -4, but if they would write it, they would just listen to the rule. And the A means what? Add. And the E means what? Keep the sign the same. So that kid that said -4, do you still want to say -4 or no? So what's the answer? Add means to add. So 6 plus 2? 8. Keep negative. Keep it what? Negative.
So your head is covering your writing? Yes, sir.
Huh? Okay. Now, if you want to see it here, so you can see why this rule works, same thing. I start at 0 and I lost, how much did I lose the first time? 2. 1, 2. And then I lost how much more?
6.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where did you land? -8. Okay? Some kids might say, well, I like the number line better. Why can't I just use the number line? Yes, you can, but when I start giving you problems like -124, I don't think you want to use the line 124. So I prefer you learn the rules because of that. Okay? Let me go back to my computer. Number 5. Which one would I graph? Which one do I graph? -8. So I'm going to click there. -8. Now I'm going to click on the text box so I can put. Yeah, you can copy. I'm just going to click -8.00. That's the way that starts when I want it. I'm going to now make it smaller. Put it there. I think I have to make it even smaller. I think más o menos is right there. And it's ready. Okay? Question with number 5. Number 6. What rule would I use for number 6? Rule 2. So I'm going to go ahead and grab number Control D. Drag it to number 6. It's covering too much, so I'm going to have to fix my box a little bit this way, and then I'll just go up. So you just have to know that you have to sometimes fix the box. Ni modo. This gray can cover, but once you unclick, boom, it disappears. So you want to go a little bit higher. Yes. Now, the reason that I want you to keep on writing the rule over and over again, because I think that repetition, eventually you're gonna own them. Just like when you were young, they keep on repeating your name over and over and over again, and that's how you learn your name. Okay? Like my dog, that's how he learned his name. Like I said, Chewy, and he would gesture at me, did not know what. Then I kept on saying Chewy. Eventually, he knows. Oh, I must be Chewy. So I think that if you keep on writing it, writing it, eventually you're not gonna need it. Eventually, that's what I want. I don't want you to be writing it. Okay. Okay. Number 6, we said that we're going to use root 2 because they're different, right? So I'm going to go now to my journal, and I'm going to write number 6. Please circle it. So like that I know which one you're doing. What was the problem? Because I forgot it. Thank you. Negative 4 plus what? 7. Thank you. So obviously we have a negative and a positive, so I'm going to be using rule 2, which is div, and which I'm going to have to subtract. And you see how I'm going faster because I already know the rule. And some kids start saying, no, I'm not going to write it anymore because I already know it. But this is the way that I'm going to make sure that you know it. Okay? So rule 2 says to subtract. Your head is going to probably tell you to add them. That's why we want to do this so we can subtract. So what's the answer here? 3. Who has the highest absolute value, the negative 4 or the 7? Positive 7, so that's why the answer is positive 3. I can box around.
If you're confused, you could look for the absolute value.
And I'm going to go ahead and go to my thing and graph, and the answer was positive 3. So I'm going to come over here, positive 3. I'm going to get a text box so I can put positive 3. I want you to put the plus sign because the star wants you to put plus 3.00. Make it small. Drag it. The plus will be shift, and it's on the equal sign. Shift on the equal sign. Yes, just so we can train ourselves to always making money. 3.00. Question with number 6. Number 10. What rule? Rule number 2 again. So I'm going to go get this guy again. Control D. There he is. Drag him slowly down. Scroll. Drag him again. Scroll. Drag him again until you get there. It's still covering, so I'm going to just go a little bit this way now so it won't be covering. There it is. I can go a little bit down right there. Okay. Questions with number 10? Now I'm going to go to my paper. It's 1 plus negative 5. So I'm going to go to my journal and I'm going to say I'm doing number 10, Mr. Rivera. So what was the question? 1 plus negative 5, parenthesis, negative 5, open, close parenthesis. I will be using rule what? 2. And rule 2 says that there are different, so I just call it diff for difference. And difference in math means to subtract and keep the greatest absolute value. So am I going to really add? No, I'm going to listen to my rule. The rule says to what? Subtract. So the answer is going to be 4. Positive or negative? Negative. Guys, the reason we're subtracting is because we're creating 0 pairs. For example, I'm going from 0 to negative 5. When I start going to the right side, it creates a 0 pair right there. Boom, 0 pair. That's why it becomes negative 4. Okay, because I gained 1, but I had lost 5, so I was able to create 1 0 pair, so that's gone. That's why we're subtracting, by the way, because you're creating 0 pairs. Question with number 10. Let me go to my computer. And I'm going to graph for number 10, negative 4, which is right there. Last year I had a lot of kids choosing negative 6. Why do you think? They had it. They said that they kept on going to the left. They said I kept on going to the left, and that did not happen. They kept on going this way. So I was at 0. I lost 5, and then they lost an extra one when they should have gained an extra one to create a 0 pair and get closer to becoming positive. Okay? That was number 10. Let me get my, for start purposes, how to punch it in. So I'm going to just click anywhere. It's going to be negative 4.00. Make it smaller. Drag it. And I am done. Question with number 10? Number 11. Number 11. I'm going to tell you something about number 11. So please copy what I'm going to tell you, because number 11, many kids will call it div, but I want you to understand that 0 is not negative and 0 is not positive. So really, we don't really need a rule. Later I'm going to teach you this property, but I'm going to already teach it right now because it's a very easy property. This is called a property of addition. property of addition is that any number that is added to 0 stays the same. Right now I'm going to tell you what that means. I'm going to zoom in for the ones I can't see. I'm just telling you right. I can't see if I go far away. The property of addition is that any number that is added to 0 stays the same. If I go 5 plus 0, what's the answer? 5. Negative 3 plus 0? Negative 3. X plus 0? X. Negative y plus 0? Negative y plus 0? Negative y. The identity property. You know what? I forgot to put the identity property. I need one more thing. The identity property of addition. Identity. My bad. I got nervous or something. I got nervous in front of the camera.
I see.
I'm just playing. I just forgot the word there. The identity property of addition tells you that you're going to keep your identity. Negative 5 plus 0 kept his identity of negative 5. 3 plus 0 kept his identity of what? 3. That's why it's called the identity property of 0. So, do I really need work then? No. Because anything that you add to 0 stays the same. So negative 3 plus 0 will stay. So I'm just going to click on it and I'm done with this one. I don't need to do rules because 0 is not a positive and 0 is not a negative. So even though that it would work, look, last year, don't copy red. Last year I had kids that did this and it worked. But if I leave it that way, I'm creating a misconception in your head. A misconception means I'm creating something that's false. I'll show you why. How and why if this thing turns on.
Move it down. I just see. I just see stayed up. Stayed up. Stays the same.
Number. I'll show you later because this thing is not charged. Okay. Okay. The identity property of addition is that anything that you add to 0 stays the same. And that's why we don't need a rule because it's going to stay the same. The negative 3 is going to keep its identity of negative 3. Since this is an honors class, I'm just curious. Is there another identity property?
Yes.
Which one would it be?
I don't know. Why'd you say it? Negative 0.
There's no negative. I just said that 0 is not negative. 0 is neither negative nor positive. It's just 0.
Negative 0.
I'll give you more clues. It's going to be called the identity property of multiplication. The identity property of multiplication.
Division and when you multiply, it can be 0.
No.
What do you see? Subtraction.
What? Listen, what number that you multiply to will keep the identity always? 1. It's called the identity property of multiplication. Anything you multiply by 1 stays the same. 5 times 1?
5.
X times 1?
X.
That's the identity property of multiplication. Okay? But we don't need it right now. I'm just saying that we could use it. Questions with the homework?
No.
Okay. I want to remind you that from now on, the stream is open and I will write announcements when I need to. The notes for the journal, listen, the notes for the rules are right here with examples. Frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, frame 5. Frame 6 has all the rules. Everything's here.